Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, I report on mind control of a different kind and cults from the Republic Broadcasting Network. What I'm doing tonight, I'm going into mind control and taking a break from the countries, by the way. I'm going into mind control without all of the electronic weaponry. And in essence, what mind control is all about. So we'll start off as follows. The secret weapon utilized by religious cults to control their followers, and that's mind control. The object here is to create awareness of the dangers of religious cults. The process utilized by these cults to recruit members and to control their lives is so subtle that members are led to believe that they joined out of their own volition. A brief discussion of what religious cults are, as well as how they function, is followed by an explanation of mind control and how it is utilized by cults. This article maintains that mind control is the secret weapon with which leaders of cults lure their followers under false pretenses to mislead, control, and make them dependent on the cult. Religious cults in South Africa, their practices are sophisticated techniques that seem to be a topic greatly lacking the attention it deserves. Many people, when leaving these cults, are faced with serious psychological, emotional, physiological, and social consequences. I believe, and I know, that to me, being under the influence of mind control in a cult after what I'm going through now would be virtually impossible. Cult-watching groups exist in the United States of America with the aim of revealing these consequences and alerting the public and governments to the perceived dangers of cults. In South Africa, similar groups exist. Cult Information and Evangelization Center, CIEC, and Rights of Individuals Grant Honor to Right, RIGHT. Unfortunately, these organizations currently do not receive the recognition and support they need from the government and the public. Religious cults are no longer only a phenomenon elsewhere in the world. A great number of established religious cults are also functioning under the South African sky, protected by the Constitution of the country. According to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Chapter 2, 31 and 1A, Persons belonging to a cultural, religious, or linguistic community may not be denied the right with other members of that community to enjoy their culture, practice their religion, and use their language, and to form, join, and maintain cultural, religious, and linguistic associations and other organizations of civil society. Most of the South African cults are geographically isolated from the outside world, and as a result function as communes on farms. More importantly is the fact that their members are also emotionally isolated from their known world of reference through subtle techniques, dependence on, and total commitment to the aims and prescriptions of the cult. One by one, things are taken away. A family member, the family itself, any wealth that they've accumulated. Their friends turn their backs on them. So they are isolated and dependent totally on the cult. Much like the targeted individual or the targeted individual's operators would like them to be. Members of these cults show a change in personality and behavior. Behavioral change in this context mostly results in an antagonism towards family, friends, and institutions in disagreement with the doctrines and practices of the cult. Members are known to sell their homes, possessions, and pledge the income to the cult as a sign of total commitment to the aims of the cult. The work of God, if you will. More radically, cult members break ties with their family and friends to be left without any support system outside the cult. The question can be asked, how is it possible for people to change so dramatically? And how informed are the public in general about these groups and their practices, so that they will be empowered to take drastic preventative steps? Problem statement. Do members really join a cult out of their own free will? And if so, why is it so difficult to leave the cult after a few years or even months? Why do people who leave these cults encounter psychological, social, and physiological problems? They develop these problems because they are totally dependent on the cult as a baby is dependent on his mother. Religious cults. In order to explore mind control in a religious cult setting, we need to consider a description of what a cult is, as well as how cults function. To define cults is not an easy task, because they are complex religious phenomena. In the hands of some commentators, cults can range from doomsday cults, such as Heaven's Gate, or the Branch Davidians, to those that scarcely seem to be religious at all, and merely offer strategies of psychotherapy, positive thinking, or some other means of developing human potential. When investigating religious cults, however, a number of useful definitions emerge. A cult is relatively small, often transitory. A transitory religious group that commonly follows a radical leader. This radical leader is believed to have a special talent, a gift, knowledge, or calling. A cult espouses radically new religious beliefs and practices that are frequently seen as threatening the basic values and cultural norms of society at large. Bowker adds to the definition that cults also systematically employ sophisticated techniques designed to effect ego destruction, thought reform, and dependence on the group. Dependence is the key word here. Another feature of cults is that they aim to extend their mission independently of previous relationships with family, friends, religion, school, or career, employing beliefs, practices, and rituals which reinforce cult values and norms. So they are using very basic psychological mind control to trap victims into the cult with no way out. No credit cards. No cars. No homes to go back to. No families to go back to. Sound familiar? The targets will recognize this right away, because what our operators do is basically the same thing. Take away everything that you have so that you are totally dependent upon them as they would like. Unfortunately, there is a flaw somewhere in their programming. because targets respond vehemently against their attackers, not the cult, the attackers. Another feature of cults is that they aim to extend their mission independently of previous relationships with family, friends, religion, school, or career, employing beliefs, practices, and rituals which reinforce cult values and norms. We can therefore propose the following working definition. A religious cult is a group of people zealously following a leader with a special gift. The cult exhibits radical new religious beliefs and practices in opposition to traditional Christian beliefs. The leader and his or her followers believe that they are the final arbiters of what is or is not the truth. If someone at the head of the cult tells lies long enough, they become the truths of the cult. The cult isolates itself from the outside world, exhibiting inward innovative behavior that both differentiates and makes for conformity among group members, establishing a group identity, while at the same time destroying the individual's identity. So this becomes, as I've referred to many times to the targeted community, it becomes like an ant farm. The workers lose their identity, and all they do is exactly what they're told. Nothing more, nothing less. Without this conformity among group members, there would be no identity. Okay, folks, we have to go to commercial. Thank you so much for listening.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? a voice of truth in a sea of lies, do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
Don't regret growing old. It's a privilege denied to many. Heart disease is taking our youth from us. Young people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond are dying needlessly. One of the hardest messages I've ever had to deliver is to convince people that something natural like Extendivite should be taken as a preventative measure. I'm sure you heard an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Extendivite is that ounce. Take Extendivite for 1 year and see what your doctor has to say and how much better you feel. Herbs take time to address the problem. It took years of life to have a problem. Give Extendivite 1 year to fix the problem. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or visit us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Good evening. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, I report on mind control. Without all of the exotic electronic devices that are used on the targeted community. This type of mind control is very simple, and it is used by the cults and we will continue that. I just want to give you a way to call in, so you can call into the show live and ask a question at 800-313-9443 or listen at 605-313-0163. And we are also speaking of the damage that these cults do. They take away an individual's identity, as the operators or perpetrators try to do. They isolate themselves. They isolate individuals, as the operators do. So, as I've said all along, the targeting that we go through is based on something that's thousands of years old, and that's hypnotism. Sophisticated techniques are utilized in order to bring about thought reform or mind control, group identity, and dependence on the group. Do you see what we're getting at? They want you to depend on them for everything, just like a baby and its mom. So, the only thing that I am not seeing here are the electronic devices. Other than that, the format is the same. Okay, we have Marilyn from Ohio. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Yeah, the mind control, these kind of planned economies kind of go with mind control. And these events, targeting this pandemic virus, could bring in some kind of like welfare socialist state. Capitalism I don't think capitalists would be into mind control of the masses. It's a competitive economic system, and they want creative people to come up with new ideas so that the capitalism continues generation into generation. And all these young, vibrant, and even older people have all these great ideas, and it goes in the market, and the marketplace sells it. So mind control is not very useful in a capitalist society. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I mean, I know there's aspects of trying to control choices of what to get as a product and how to use products or whatever it is. But, like this kind of Nazi socialist welfare state, which could happen easily if the economy collapses because of this pandemic. And mind control, if you mind control the people with this technology, and trauma-based mind control, this is traumatizing the planet, just like 9/11, trauma-based mind control, and then a police state, martial law, like taking large groups of people, putting them in camps because they're contaminating the others, and then the others, whoever the others are who survive, are mind controlled. What do you think about that?
Well, mind control in our society, especially at a point in time like this. Okay, we have a commercial coming up, Marilyn. Hang on, we'll get right back to you. Thank you so much for listening.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we have been building our online store. Well, we have been focusing on bringing you the best talk show host in the country. Here at Republic Broadcasting Network, we also want our listeners to have products they can use every day and in times of emergency. We have added new products each week to our store. Your support of this network, plus products at the best prices, is a win-win situation. Check out our new store. Go to our website, republicbroadcasting.org, and click on the online store located at the top of our website. Together, we can continue to grow RBN and help our listeners prepare for the future. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and click on our online store or call us.
800-724-2719, extension 3. 800-724-2719, extension 3. Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
How would you like to earn an extra $10,000 or more a month from the comfort of your home? We show you how to win with a home-based business opportunity. This could be one of the best financial decisions you ever make. Work from home, full-time or part-time. Plus, you'll never have to talk to anyone. Our professional sales team closes all your sales for you, and you keep 70% of all the sales made. You could be earning money while you're sleeping, shopping, working out, wherever you are, day or night. Our system goes to work for you. You can make a great income without any special computer skills or sales training. Plus, you get paid fast, within just 24 to 48 hours after our professional sales team closes a sale for you. Let us help you eliminate your financial concerns. You could be earning enough money to pay off debt, buy a house, a car, or whatever the case may be. We've got you covered. If you'd like to add an extra $10,000 or more a month to your portfolio, and you would like to know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, go now to www.getstartedwithus.com. That's www.getstartedwithus.com. Again, that's www.getstartedwithus.com.
Inside the doorway. Use it only in emergency. Better you should pray to God, the Father and the Spirit will guide you and protect you from up here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen. Tonight, I report on mind control of a different variety without electronic delivery, without any kind of electronics at all. And also involved in this mind control are cults. And this 3,000-year-old tool called mind control is used by the cults. And in the functioning of religious cults, according to Singer and Lalich, psychologists and experts in the field of cults, 3 main factors are important in assessing the cultic nature and functioning of a group, namely the leader, the structure of the group, and thought reform, mind control. Cult leaders are self-appointed, very persuasive individuals who claim to have a special mission, gift, or knowledge. Charles Manson would be an example. Lester Bloomberg of the Mission Church claimed to have the special gift of prophecy. He prophesied that the town of Welcome would disappear into a hole on 18 April 1988. The AWB would carry out a coup d'etat in May 1988, and the Vaux-Traquair monument would be struck by lightning on 16 December 1987 and be divided into two parts. Furthermore, they tend to be determined and domineering and are often described as charismatic. Typically, they have enough personal charm or other cognizy to attract people, control and manage them. Cult leaders center veneration on themselves. They keep their followers' love, devotion, and allegiance focused on themselves. Cults exhibit an authoritarian structure, and the leader is regarded as the supreme authority. This is very much an extreme parallel to targeted individuals who are trying to be broken by their operators. But as I say, there is a flaw in the programming because it doesn't work. Eugene Hoy, the leader of the Hoy Group in Pumalaja, claims to receive his messages directly from God. Leaders may delegate some power to a few subordinates in order to ensure that their orders and wishes are carried out. In this group, the structure is clearly identifiable. The structure is headed by the leader, Eugene Hoy. Below him are the 7 monarchs. The next level, the priests, then the Levites, and then the people. There is no appeal outside the leadership system to greater systems of justice. Cult leaders claim to be offering something novel and instituting the only viable system for change that will solve life's problems or the world's ills. Almost all cults make the claim that their members are special, chosen, or selected, while non-members are considered lesser beings. Cults tend to have a double set of ethics. Members are urged to confess all to the leader, but at the same time, members are encouraged to deceive and manipulate non-members. In many cases, to become members. These actions are explained by the end justifies the means, or the deception is referred to as heavenly deception. Cults as well tend to be totalistic or all-encompassing. in controlling their members' behavior, and also ideologically totalistic, exhibiting zealotry and extremism in their worldview. Eventually, cults expect members to devote increasing time, money, possessions, and resources to the professed goals of the group so that they can obtain salvation. Again, we see a parallel to the perps or the operators in the targeted community. So, I think the targets could break away from this cult like nothing compared to what we go through. Cults dictate to members what to wear, what to eat and drink, and when and where they may sleep and work. Miller, 2003, a former member of another group in the Limpopo province known as Alon Christian Community, reports that the women who live on the farm with their husbands are told exactly what is expected of them. They must perform specific tasks, which include duties in the kitchen, looking after children, and cleaning all the houses on the farm. The women are discouraged from wearing long hair and makeup. They are told that it portrays vanity and will hinder their spiritual growth and total commitment. The leader's wife, however, is permitted to wear long hair and makeup. She also told how she had to sleep outside the house she and her husband occupied. When she was disobedient to him, she and her husband had been matched up by the leader. She wanted to escape, but was too afraid to do so. Cult members are taught that it is all or nothing. And when you leave or try to leave, if you have gone all the way, you leave with nothing, with no hope of ever getting back your monies or your resources. Cults expect their members to undergo a major disruption of change or change in lifestyle. Great pressure is placed on new members to leave their families, friends, and jobs, sell their belongings, and pledge their home, income, and all resources to the group in order to become immersed in the group's major purpose. This isolation tactic is one of the cult's most powerful and common mechanisms to control their members and enforce dependency. So if we took the electronic weaponry and delivery systems away from our perps or operators, they would seem much like this.
Yes.
Or maybe exactly like this. Okay, Marilyn?
My God. I swear to you, this is going to be one of the best shows that you do. They are a cult. The gang stalkers. The network is a bunch of cult members, mind controlled. This hive that I talk about so much, they are mind controlled, and exactly what you just said after the commercial break is exactly what they're doing to the other perps. And as you spoke, even other perps in the hive said, "Oh my God, get me out of here." Everything you said that they want. Unfortunately, sometimes they recruit from TIs. They're turning me into a sacrifice. They're sacrificing themselves for some insanity. Jonestown, the People's Temple Agriculture Project, better known as Jonestown, it was a settlement in Guyana.
South Africa, I think, correct?
Guyana. Let's see. Guyana is, and I'll Google it. It was primarily black Christians that were mind controlled and go to this place. And it's in South America. It's a country in South America, North Atlantic coast. And it's in a dense rainforest. It's beautiful. And one of the things that the cult leader said, Jim Jones, he told them, he said that witnesses said they picked vulnerable people who were mentally just had low self-esteem and lacked affection, had never interacted with a white person. And so he took advantage of this. But besides that, yes, the gang stalkers are like a cult. We need help, Frank. We desperately need help.
They are a cult. And this parallel demonstrates the only difference between our operators is the electronic equipment. That's the only difference.
Exactly. And the asset stripping, where the victims and the people who are the followers, whatever, they might have a secret language that they call themselves. They don't call themselves gang stalkers, but where they asset strip the victims and the perps, and they keep them kind of in this codependent relationship with the handler. And I noticed with the people in the synthetic telepathy that they are told to get on welfare. They are told to live in apartments that the gang stalkers control, so that they act in a way that is inappropriate. If they're not psychotic enough, they'll be taken out of this apartment. If you don't torture Marilyn, you will not get your food. You will not. It's a lot of strange shit I'm hearing.
Marilyn,
but
how about the word placator, which is actually a play on words? I don't even know.
Mind control speech. Right, to placate. If you placate someone, you stop them from being angry by giving them something or doing something that pleases them. Right, so the first year I noticed with the gang stalkers, what they did to their recruits, whenever they wanted to leave the cult, they would say, "We'll give you drugs. We'll give you this." And now they're strung out. So, they give them things, gift cards, homes. For the upscale gang stalkers, I imagine they get a lot more than the low-level perps that I have. And then they are, it's like a welfare state. That's what I was saying earlier. They may like to target poor people to be gang stalkers, poor people with low self-esteem who are vulnerable, who do not have an education. I mean, it would be hard to mind control someone with a PhD. And I know that General Mao and the communist states and that when they target their communities, they go after the teachers, the intellectual community first. That's a rebellious person. People who like to be educated are naturally rebellious. It's hard to control someone who's smart, you know? So I think our perps may be ignorant, uneducated, poor, and then they're just given stuff, and it's like a welfare state. The mind control from this virus, it's like the perps were concerned. I could hear them about food resources. As I had said, when there's no food, what are you going to do? And the hive, the handler slave, as I call them, there's slaves that are acting as handlers. We'll feed you. Don't worry. You don't have to do anything for yourself. Just as long as you do as we tell you to. Mm-hmm. And they try to restrict us the same way. Don't leave your house. Be isolated. So it's a very, you need to protect your mind because the technology is different than Jonestown. But it's the same kind of nonsense. And then in the end, he gets tired of them and he kills them.
Right, and our operators or perps get extremely upset when you're doing something else and not paying attention to them, which also parallels this. It's all human nature. That's all hypnotism is, taking advantage of what is there. And you've brought up several very good points. We actually don't have enough time to really continue with this, but we can talk about further parallels in this mind control, such as the ultimate result in isolation, the attempt at thought reform, dependence on them, which we don't have. They actually have the dependence on us. I think this is where the programming went bad. And all of these techniques that I've just mentioned are generally referred to as part of mind control. So if we study this, mind control, its roots, which go back thousands of years, we will have a handle on where they're trying to go with this. And we'll be more capable to combat it. What do you think?
Just pace yourself. Think again.
Yeah, what differs here is they are the ones who are dependent. That's where the programming went bad. They are dependent on us. In true hypnotism, in its purest form, the individual is totally 100% dependent on the hypnotist. And in this case, it's a charismatic group or cult leader. And we have seen this, as you have mentioned, down through the ages. But hypnotism is the basis for traumatic or trauma-based mind control. What they're doing here is not trauma-based. The trauma will come if you try and leave. But our program is trauma-based, and they try to induce trauma all the time because that's when they think or believe that they can gain control. We have about a minute left, Marilyn. You want to comment? Oh, maybe we lost her. But what we have to understand is the more that we learn about these things, and I mean the operators, they don't qualify as humans to me, but the more we learn about these operators, the better armed we are at taking them out. And you have the mind that can do it. We all do. Be hyper vigilant of everything that happens, that they do, that happens to you. Beware of the isolation. Don't let them separate you from your friends, family, jobs. Stick together. This group is your new family for now and forever. But I'd like to say thank you, Marilyn, and good night from Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Frank Allen.
Honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.